Hello and welcome into another episode of Freshman Friday. I am your host, as always, Blake Sorrell, and today I'm joined by a very special guest. Golden Thrower joins us today. Golden, welcome onto the show, coming on to talk a little bit about some sports with us.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's going to start my first question for us. So where are you from and what made you start playing softball?
I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. I just started playing softball through rec organizations.
Okay. So you started playing rec ball, and I know you also played a little bit of basketball. So I want to touch on this a little bit. Did you have a decision to make between coming to college and playing softball or playing basketball at all?
I definitely feel like growing up, basketball was like my favorite sport for sure. But due to like knee injuries and stuff like that, it became kind of unsafe to play. So I just thought of, I wanted to play in college. So I chose to go with softball and
Nice.
left basketball behind.
Made a wise decision. It looks like you're now playing on the Georgia College team here in
Right.
Milledgeville. So you're reaping the benefits of choosing wisely. It looks like. So I want to ask you, how did your basketball background help your softball background at all? Is there, any correlation that you can draw other than working out and staying in shape?
I feel like it's definitely helped with athleticism for sure. Growing up, I had a really special basketball coach that really taught good work ethics and stuff like that. So I appreciated that a lot.
Nice. So you said you're from Charleston, South Carolina. So I'm interested to know, coming in as an 18-year-old or, coming in as a freshman, that is. I'm not sure if you're exactly 18, but you come in as a freshman and you're sitting here in Milledgeville and you went from a bigger town like Charleston. Is it a little bit different for you? Was it a weird adjustment?
It's definitely really different. There's not much to do here compared to Charleston.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. Charleston is a fun town. I love going there and visiting. I probably go about once every 2 years. I have a buddy that plays baseball at Charleston Southern.
Okay.
Yeah. So my next question for you is, I know you're a state champ. I want to know what that means to you, and I want to know how you can use that success that you had at the high school level and then transcend that over to the collegiate level.
Well, when we won state, I was backup pitcher, so I didn't really have a lot of pressure like through the state championship, but definitely coming back the following year and being the starting pitcher, having that on our backs through that season was pretty difficult, being a junior leading the team with the state championship over our heads.
Yeah, no, that's a lot of pressure that you had to deal with, I'm sure, right? But I'm sure it made you a better leader along the way. And I know there's a lot of leaders on the softball team that were here before you at Georgia College. So my question for you is, how exactly, going from Charleston, playing high school ball, going now, being a college freshman, how were you able to kind of lean on some of the girls on the team? Has there been a specific girl on the team that maybe reached out to you? Do you have like a mentor on the team per se?
We have what's called accountability partners. My accountability partner, Mac, is a pitcher here as well. And we both get along really well. She's made workouts here pretty fun. I love pitching bullpens with her.
Nice. So, my next question for you is going to relate to COVID-19. Coming in as a freshman, definitely probably threw you off a little bit. The recruiting process even could have been shaken up for you some point, one way or another, maybe less options, maybe more options. Here's the thing. My question that I really am curious, and I always ask student athletes is, what have you done to kind of combat the COVID-19 pandemic with your workout routines, with the way that you're staying in shape? Has it been a challenge for you, and how have you overcame that challenge?
I think here it's been pretty decent. I don't know anything else in college, but having to work out with a mask on so far. But in South Carolina, we play high school softball in the spring. So my senior year was taken away from me. So at this point, I'm just ready to get back into playing a real game.
So how long has it actually been since you've played, a regulated, officiated game?
I played over the summer, like travel ball, but since high school, it's been a year since I've actually played.
Wow, that's crazy. So, you've really had to grind deep and, focus really hard on yourself, while you've been dealing with this crazy time period. Everybody's dealing with it different, but it sounds like you've done a good job so far. So that's going to lead me to my last and final question for you, Golden. This one's always a fun one for me. I'm curious as to why your favorite athlete is Tobin Heath, the United States soccer player.
I just like work ethic. She always posts about working really hard and encouraging messages on her Instagram. That's what I like most about her. So
Cool. So yeah, I mean, it's always interesting to see, student athletes that are taking an interest into a different sport. That's their favorite athlete. I have some people that'll come on here on the Freshman Friday and they'll talk about, how their favorite player is like Dennis Rodman, and they're a soccer player on the girls team here. It's crazy to me, how much people love pro sports and how they're influenced by some of these athletes out in the world. So you took Tobin Heath's logic and her inspiring stuff, and you're able to correlate that into your softball career, which I respect. So I said that was my last question, but I'm going to throw one more in there. Where did it go? Okay, yeah, this is my final question for you. Sorry about that. So my last and final question for you, Golden, is you're a freshman right now. You're new to all this. It's been a weird change, most definitely. Where do you, Golden Thrower, see yourself in 4 years as a student at Georgia College and also a student athlete at Georgia College?
Well, I'm actually in the military science program here. So after graduation, I'm going to go into the Army.
Awesome. That's awesome right there. So what are you planning to do in the Army? Do you have any big plans?
Right now, I'm not for sure, but I'm thinking about doing like logistics, being a logistics officer.
That's awesome. That's the way to go too. I mean, we can never have too many people in the Army, and especially on a day like yesterday when it was Veterans Day, you pay respects to the people that you love the most, and you got to understand that people make sacrifices, and it sounds like you as a team player, you're willing to make sacrifices not only for your softball team, but it obviously sounds like going into the Army, you're willing to make a sacrifice for your country. So I appreciate that. I respect that very much. That's going to wrap it up from me. Golden, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate you coming on to talk some sports with me. It was a great time as always, and we'll see you guys next week for another episode of Freshman Friday.